to be here this morning. We'll turn to Sunday school kids that are going to go to Sunday school loose. It's Mother's Day. My wife gets to take most of this, but I wanted to preach to you for just a brief moment this morning from the book of Matthew, chapter 20. We'll read verse 20. Matthew 20, verse 20. I could preach to you something that didn't have to do with mothers, but y'all think I was crazy, huh? It's Mother's Day. So we got to preach something about moms. I'm going to read to you a story starting in Matthew 20, verse 20, and we'll read down to about verse 24. Then came to him the mother of Zebedee's children with her sons, worshiping him and desiring a certain thing of him. And he said unto her, What wilt thou? She saith unto him, Grant that these my two sons may sit, the one on thy right hand, and the other on the left in thy kingdom. But Jesus answered and said, You know not what you ask, and are you able to drink the cup that I shall drink of, be baptized with the baptism that I am baptized with? They say unto him, We are able. And he saith unto them, You shall drink indeed of my cup, and be baptized with the baptism that I am baptized with, but to sit on my right hand and on my left is not mine to give, but it shall be given to them for whom it is prepared of my Father. When the 10 heard it, they were moved with indignation against the two brethren. And I want to preach to you this morning from the title of Love Like Mama. Yes. Love like Mama. You can put your Bibles down, give them a hand clap, loosen up, get the blood going. We're preaching in maybe about 10, 15 minutes. If you don't, we'll be here all day. You can sit down if you want to. I want to read you a poem. One of the first books that I remember having at home was one that was written by Helen Steiner Rice, and it had a lot of poems in it. And look, I like poems. I use them a lot. But this one is just titled A Mother's Love. It says, A mother's love is something that no one can explain. It's made of deep devotion, sacrifice, and pain. It's endless and unselfish and enduring, come what may. For nothing can destroy it or take that love away. It's patient and forgiving when all others are forsaken. But it never fails or falters, even though the heart is breaking. It believes beyond believing when the world comes around and condemns, and it glows with all the beauty of the rarest and the brightest gems. It is far beyond defining and defiles all explanation. And it still remains a secret like the mysteries of creation. Amid a splendid miracle, man cannot understand another wondrous evidence of God's tender, guiding hand. I don't know about you, and look, I get it. You and I, we're all different. And so we all have different views, we have different relationships, we have different memories, and we have different things in our lives when it comes to moms. And that's all right. Your mom's different than my mom. And sometimes you get good ones and sometimes you get better ones. Notice I didn't say worse ones, huh? Sometimes you get moms that, they're different. Mine was different. But they're very special creations in the way that moms are made. Hard for us fellas to identify and really understand how moms think. I've got a good friend of mine who, and I know none of you folks ever had kids that are bad. All of y'all's children are just so good, so perfect. But his is not. And there's been a time or two I've had to talk him off the ledge of killing his kids. I don't know why, because I felt like killing them too. But mama, it almost seems that mamas, they go way further for the kids when it comes to love. It's unconditional. Now, I started this out in a different vein because I wanted to compare the fact that the church today is really supposed to love like Christ loved the church. And I find that when it comes to the way that Christ loves the church, most times churches they struggle loving people the way Christ loves the church. Because we are not Jesus. And we have our ideas, and we have our path, we have our thought process, we have all this stuff that gets in the way of true unconditional love. Because you see, I see churches a lot of times when people come to church, they run people off just because they don't know how to love on people. They have this thing where there's conditions to what a person has to have or do. And I don't find that in this book. I find this book is kind of like our mom. It doesn't matter what you did as a kid, your mama was going to forgive you. I don't care what you did. I totaled a station wagon. It was less than about 3 months old. Whenever I can't tell you. Because I wasn't supposed to be driving. I was 10 years old. Of course, I've been driving since I was 8, so don't throw stones. That's how long we drove in the country. Surely some of y'all drove by the time y'all was 8 or 10. I was in a hay pasture. I drove. Shit, I would have thought they'd kill me on that one, but they didn't. Love me anyway. Unconditional. Patience, unsurpassed. Mom's got patience. Understanding. You can come in and just, but they understand what's going on somehow. And they got X-ray vision. Moms can look through a wall and see that child on the other side of the house and know, hey, stop there right now. On the other side of the house, how are you doing? Mom's got X-ray vision. When things get quiet, Mama's get nervous. My wife, when things get quiet over the last few days, I hear her, Zach it. Zach it. We got a new dog. It's like raising a kid. My Lord, it's for young folks. I'm going to send this dog home with some of y'all just so I can get me some rest. Moms have this ability that even when you can't see it, even when you don't understand how it could have happened, moms have an ability to get things done. Things family needs, things that has to happen. All of a sudden, everything gets done on time. Big hearts, love that knows no bounds. They probably know, right where I grew up, you know, my mom was a home ec teacher. So you learn pretty early to leave her stuff in the kitchen alone. But there's a time or two a pot made it out to the sand pile. You know, her nice china found its way outside. Lots of things happen. I believe that when you go to a house and they got a bunch of kids, you're probably going to find sticky floors. And when you sit down on the couch and something liable to be poking you in the back because some kid done shoved a toy back there in the cushions. Nothing wrong with that. That's a house well lived in. I believe the real deal is whenever the kids are happy. Moms have a nuclear reactor of some kind because it don't seem like you ever get tired. Many of them work all day, fight traffic, have to be in the public and then come home, cook supper, teach, chauffeur. Man, that's a lot. Maid, wife, doctor, nurse. Whew. Most important, in most cases, shouldn't be this way. Could I pastor for just about 3 seconds here? Yes. This is to all you adults that are of the male persuasion. It's a shame when mama's got to be the one that brings the kids to church. I know I shouldn't have said that. Let me get back to being nice and sweet and kind. All you Christians that go off and say good things about us this morning. I'm just trying to say, moms seem like to be the spiritual leaders in the house. Nothing wrong with that. I just think we got it backwards right there. But I may be crazy. She's always interceding on them wayward family members. Anybody ever heard of Mom? I'm requesting prayer for little Johnny. Little Johnny been bad again. Little Johnny been in jail. Again. And again. And again. Everybody else in the church is going, my Lord, what was little Johnny learn? And Mama's going, you leave my little Johnny alone. I'll thump you on the head. You talking about my little Johnny. I just want him out of jail. And you want to know what? She's got the right attitude and everybody else got the wrong. You see, moms have this unique ability to love when nobody else will love you. Now I don't know how that works because I'm a guy. You know, could be the good Lord knew that I killed my kids, so we didn't get anything. And that may be the case. I don't know, but I'm pretty sure when I look at somebody else's kids, sometime I think to myself, I was knocked him in the head a long time ago. How in the world? But yet moms don't ever think that. I don't know of another one that would. It's uncanny how the connection between mothers and their children is something about. And sometimes I'm sure moms have to ask. Moms have to come to this place in life where they go, "Oh Lord, why me? Why in the world is my kid so bad? Why in the world is my family so crazy? Why in the world am I having to go through all of this?" And I'm sure that there's something that inside of them, they ask that question. Surely they ask that question. Surely they wonder sometimes. But you want to know how quickly it's fixed is when some little kid just look, I love you. I love you. And mom's heart melts. And everything goes back to being good. You see, there's something about a mother's love. I believe that we're supposed to understand that in our lives, we should love that way. The Bible teaches us to love one another. The Bible teaches us to treat our neighbors like we want to be treated. And the Bible's full of this, but sometimes I wonder if we don't love a little more or a little less than the way moms love. Sometimes maybe we don't want to get our hands dirty. Moms always got their hands dirty. I remember the first mud pie I ever knew how to make. Mom showed me how to make it. Whenever you are, I got a picture somewhere. I pull it out every once in a while because it embarrasses my two sisters. I got a picture of them two naked as jaybirds. Just naked as jaybirds. Playing behind the house, rain come off the edge of the house and made a little puddle. Man, they sitting there, they mud from head to toe. Run back in the house, and all Mama does is shake her head, puts them in the bathtub, cleans them up, knowing they're going to go right back out there and get muddy again. Did God kind of like that? Mother has a love that will cause her to sacrifice for her children. And sacrifice a lot of stuff that she could want or could have. She'll request the best for her kids. Wants the best for her kids. Have you ever met a mom and they got this kid? Yeah, my little Johnny's going to grow up to be a doctor or a lawyer. Excuse me. And you look at little Johnny and say the best he's ever going to be is a janitor. Because little Johnny just don't, man, he's licking the back of the bus window. Something wrong with Johnny. You better not tell Mama that. Because Mama thinks that's the next president of the United States. And some of you sitting here lift the back of the bus window. And because of your mama's love and her faith in you and her confidence in you, she taught you something. And in teaching you something, you became a lot better today than what you could have been if it hadn't been for her. When we look at ourselves in the mirror, we should be able to see the influence and the effect of her love. Now look, I'm adopted. I might have been born under a rock. I don't know. I don't know who my biological mom is, but I can tell you who the one is that raised me. That's who I call mom. I don't know anybody else, but I can tell you, I can see. Now, I don't look like any of the family. I'm adopted. That would be weird. But I can see the effects of growing up. I couldn't. Some of you folks in here, I'm gonna put Jason on a side note here. I cook better than all you women folks. I can wash dishes better than you. I can clean house better than you. I can mop the floor better than you. Because my mama was a home ec teacher. I was doing that before I could walk. I spent more time in the kitchen than most chefs. I just don't want to. But I guarantee you, if I have to clean my house, I can clean my house. Why? Because Mama taught me how to do that, right? I read before most kids read. Why? Because my mama was a teacher. She taught me how to read. When I went and entered school as a kindergartner, the kindergarten teacher called her up and said, "What were you doing to this kid?" Well, because I was any smarter than the rest of them. Well, maybe I was, I don't know. But Mom spent some time and taught me how to read, taught me how to count, taught me my ABC. She sat down and did that. Why did she do that? She wanted more from me than what I wanted for myself at the moment. All I want to do is go outside digging the dirt and eat bugs. And I did some of that. But I also learned to read at an early age. My mom taught me to go to church. When I was adopted, when I come home, they made a decision to go to church. Until I was probably in my early teens, mid-teens, that's when the whole family went. And then Mom and Dad decided they didn't want to fight too much. And, oh well. I'm the lone survivor. I'm still going to church every time church doors is open. Why? Because Mama brought me to church. Now, I'm not saying that she didn't have her faults. Mom had her faults. But none of it, I could be in trouble. And know when I got home, I'm going to make it all right. Now, I will say this. She knew how to use a switch. She'd make you go pick you on. Cruel Mom. I went out there and got me one about that long one time. I never did that before. Apparently, when she goes out and picks a switch, she picks them out pretty good. I figured, so what I started going, now I get good ones, you know, one of them long, whippy ones, boy. But on the way back in, I'd stretch that thing. Almost to the point of break. In about 5 or 6 spots, and it never worked so good after that. I don't know if you ever caught on to that. There's any kids in here. Wasn't my idea. Mom had this great way of saying, "I love you," but yet with a firm hand. Discipline. Mom's a lot of these things and much more. Your mom's going to be special to you in ways that are not special to me. But in the book of Isaiah, God said it this way: "As a mother comforts her child, so will I comfort you." You see, there's a lot of things happen in life. There's a lot of things happen in life that goes through our lives and changes us in a lot of ways and makes us different, causes us to think different, causes us to view life differently. But yet at the end of the day, we have to realize that if God loves us like our moms loves us, then really what do I have to be worried about? It doesn't matter, Brother Joe, if I fall and I slip and I break I break a toenail or bump my foot on the coffee table or run into a wall or whatever it is that caused me to get hurt. God still loves me. God still cares for me. Doesn't matter if I go out and dig out my driveway. Everything's going to still be all right. Doesn't matter what goes on in my family's life. God still loves me. And you see, there's something about that that's very comforting. There's something about living for God and understanding that God loves us like mamas do that makes living for God a whole lot easier. There's a lot of people struggle living for God because they want to live for God too difficult. You think God holds stuff over your head. When's the last time your mom ever hold something over your head? None. You come in. Anybody ever went and got a tattoo and then went home to mom? Don't raise your hand. Anybody ever come home first time drunk? Don't raise your hand. Anybody come home and you had a boyfriend that you didn't have the day before? Or a girlfriend? Lord help you, had a kid. What did Mama do? She didn't beat you up. Probably should. But she started trying to figure out, how do we make this work now? How do we continue to love the unlovable? Isn't that what God did for us? Because there's nobody sitting in here this morning that was lovable. I don't care who we are. When we come to Him, we were sinners. We were carnal. We were negative. We were ugly. We were nasty. We've been running around with the pigs in the slop and eating slop with the pigs. We were the prodigals. We were prodigals. We did not deserve to be in His house, but yet He looked at us and says, you know what? I love you just like you are. I love you the way you are. I love you in the shape you're in. He said, I appreciate the fact that you come to my house and say, look, I want to live. But look at me. Look at what? You look like a perfectly normal human being. Woo. With your purple hair and your red polka dot tattoos. You drove up with that dude that had a mohawk. Or you drove in with that girl that was from the wrong side of town. You know people thinking that kind of stuff. But mamas don't. You see, what I've come to realize over in life is I can make it hard to live for God, and I can hold myself to some kind of unusual standard that forces me to just to always be negative and look at myself down. Man, I can't believe I can't live it this way. I can't believe. Look, folks, living for God's easy as long as you realize that He loves you like nobody else. And whatever happens in your life, I don't care how far you go. The prodigal went all the way to eat with pigs. Anybody eat with pigs yet? Not me. But yet the prodigal's father's still standing there. The family was still waiting on him. There was nothing wrong with him. He just needed to get back to God. And how easy is that? My mom was a little crazy. My mom would call up, she won't fight. Now, I know none of you ladies won't fight. I'm sure all of you are nice, kind, sweethearts. Y'all won't fight. Y'all won't fuss. My mom wouldn't fight. She loved a fuss fight. She'd start a fuss fight just to be happy. And she called me up to start one. When I found out my mom and dad was divorced, I found out by accident. I was going by the house, and after the cussing she gave me and Stephanie, I told her, I said, look, I don't do that in my house, and I'm not going to listen to you do that. You certainly don't do that to my wife. So when you decide you want to grow up, you call me. Well, that was a year and a half that first time. And she finally called me up. Oh, it's been so long since I was talking. talk to you. Why don't you call your mother? Well, is my mother ready to be an adult? I didn't mean what I said. All right, well, how you been? How you been, Mom? How you doing? What's going on, man? Everything going good? About 5 minutes of conversation. Well, the reason I was calling you is because your sister done got a car. I need you to go repossess my car from your sister. I said, I'll talk to you later, Mom. Click. She just wanted me to go stir my sister because she was mad at one of my sisters. Now, that's my mom. Well, you want to know something? In about a year after that, she called me back up. You know what I did? You ready to be an adult, Mom? Yes, man. Yeah. Oh, man, I can't. What are you talking about? I never did that. I'm pretty sure I'm not a dummy. I remember what you did, Mom. All right. How you been, Mom? Baby? Why? Mom just wanted to talk to her son. She was trying her best to let go of the past and let me know she loved me. Before she died, folks, just so you know, before she died, I went over and we spent quite a bit of time together while she was rehabbing from a bad accident. And, we was able to talk and chat a little bit without any fussing and fighting. And I thought that was great. Because you see, I remember her from when she was Mom. But when you get hooked on pain meds and prescription pain pills, you do dumb stuff. But see, I know that, and so I can take that with a grain of salt. Why? Because I understand she loved me when it was important. She loved me whenever I was in my formative years. And there were some things I did that I shouldn't have done. And when I did them, she always never held that against me. I know that somehow, you see it best when it comes to, I don't know, troubled kids, right? I've never seen a mom one that did not plead with a jury. And I have sat in the courtroom. Never seen a mom one that would plead with a jury and say, please spare my son's life. Never seen a mom ever get up and say, well, you know what, kill him. Go ahead and put him on death row or whatever. Never seen that. Why? I don't know. We have a tendency to look and see all the bad. If we're not careful, we'll focus on that. That's all we'll see. Moms never see the bad in their kids. They always see the good. And when it comes to living for God, shouldn't we always see the good in people? Because you remember, I read at an early age, right? My mom got to read these Irma Bombette books. Anybody know who Irma Bombette is? All the lady folks raise their hand. All right, come on, guys. Y'all might keep touch y'all's feminine side or something. Good. There's some good stuff in there. Read you some Irma Bombette. She's pretty funny. She's American humorist. She wrote several books. And this is what she said when she told a story about God creating moms. I read this years ago. Run across it here the other day and said, I use that. I like that. And God, obviously, He's creating all this stuff. He gets to the day where He's creating moms, and He's been working a lot of hours, All right, man. Come on, folks, now. I know God don't have hours. Bear with me. It's a story. He working overtime. He's working long hours. He was his 6th day. Angels come by, one of the angels, I don't know which one it was, come by and said, man, you're doing a whole lot of fiddling around on this particular project you're working on here. You kind of spending some time. The Lord looked at the angel and said, look, man, have you read the specs on this particular model? He said, man, there's a lot of stuff I got to do. She got to be completely washable. But she can't be plastic. She's got to have 180 movable parts, and all of them moving parts have to be irreplaceable. She's got to run on coffee and leftovers. She's got to have a lap that never disappears, even when she stands up. A kiss that'll cure everything from a broken leg to a broken love affair. And she's got to have 6 pairs of hands. Well, Angel shook his head and said, 6 pair of hands? Ain't no way. Not 6 pairs of hands. Well, it's not the hands that's causing me problems, said the Lord. It's the 3 pairs of eyes that the mama has to have. Angel said, is that on the standard model? Lord nodded, said, yeah. Got to have 1 pair that sees through closed doors when she asks, what are you doing in there? So she already knows. Another one in the back of her head that sees what she shouldn't, but what she has to know anyway. And of course the ones in the front can look at that kid when he gets in a goofy kind of way and say, look, I understand and I love you without so much as uttering a word. Lord, said the angel. Said, Lord, you need to go to bed. Get you some rest. And tomorrow, I can't, said the Lord. I'm so close to creating something so close to myself. Already I have one who heals herself when she's sick. Can feed a family of 6 on 1 pound of hamburger. Can get a 9-year-old to stand under a shower. Angel circled around the model of the mother very slowly and said, it's too soft. Oh, but she's tough, said the Lord inside him. You can't imagine what this mom can do or endure. Angel said, can it think? Oh, not only can it think, it can reason, persuade, and negotiate, said the Lord. Finally, the angel bent over and ran her finger across the cheek and said, there's a leak, she pronounced. I told you he was trying to push too much into this model. No, it's not a leak, said the Lord. It's a tear. Whoa, what in the world is it for? Said the angel. Well, it's for joy, sadness, disappointment, pain, loneliness, pride. The angel looked at the Lord and said, you're a genius. The Lord looked back at the angel and said, I didn't put it there. You see, this morning I know it's about moms. I get that. And rightfully so. But yet there's nothing that goes on in this world. There's nothing in this world that ever happens that really isn't about God. And everything in our lives should be centered around living for Him better and better, right? So this morning, I'm not talking to those of us that's messed up. I'm not talking to those of us that have issues in our lives. I'm not talking to those of us that, we found ourselves back at, square one or whatever the saying is. Because I preach to you guys all the time. I tell you all the time, God loves you and cares for you. What I want this morning for this to be is understand that we as God's children, we need to learn how to really love one another. We need to have these qualities. Not just moms. I'm talking about everybody. We should have the qualities that God found important enough to give to each one of us. We just have to use them. And the next time somebody falls and stubs their toes, we're not going, let's say I told you so. You're going, hey, hang on a minute. Can I help you up? Could I offer you a hand? You see somebody that's struggling, and it's not about how much, but just walk over and pick up their ticket from the table and go pay for it. Or drop a card in the mail and say, look, just wanted you to go have a Mississippi's coffee only, or revived tea. Never had a revived tea? I hear they're revitalizing. I have it on good authority. Maybe you drop a little handwritten note. I know nobody knows how to write anymore, but you can at least scribble something. Or maybe pick up the phone. They say, just thinking about you. Well, no, I was just thinking about you. How you been? Want to go grab some coffee? Want to go grab some lunch? Want to come over to the house? Do you want to babysit the dog? Whatever. And you might find yourselves maybe experiencing what God really intended for the church to experience. And that's that gratitude from somebody that you loved on that was unlovable.